Good morning. Good morning. Welcome to the Love Ambassador Morning. Welcome. I am John Halcyon. We do a little sharing of gratitude every morning. If you're watching this recording, leave a comment. What are you grateful for today? Add your dose of goodness to our mix. Add your ingredient to our stew. What are you grateful for? And I start with a song because that's how we get on tune. And it's not one you can sing along because I make it up and there's room for me to get silly with it. Even if you're not aware, and if you want to sing with me, make up your own words, I don't care. It's love morning, love morning, love morning. Yeah. Good morning. I probably should wait a minute or two before I sing the song because I don't think anybody finds it right when I hit start. Because, yeah. Anyway, we are live on YouTube and Facebook, and to be honest, I think I crushed that song. I am feeling grateful for birds chirping and a sunshiny day after some rain, which is so nice. Grateful for a few days of enjoying having a leakless roof over me and a fireplace to enjoy a fire. Grateful for some moments of cuddling with my beloved in a warm home as moisture finally fell from the sky. And really, I've been thinking a lot last few days, especially just how important it is to know as they're happening the moments that are wonderful, and that more and more focusing on appreciating the now is the answer. As we filter through the news of what's happening politically, what's happening culturally, what's happening technologically, it is easy to start to make stories about what is coming. It's easy to start getting worried, to get scared, to forecast a potential nightmarish future. And even if it is coming, that worry does not undo it. There's this great line in the movie Here when the character says, for some reason, I thought that worrying was going to stop the bad things from happening. So, if you are going to stay aware of all the things happening in the world, make sure you also stay aware of the things happening in your world that are wonderful. Whether that is your soft blanket, the warmth of the person in the bed with you, the taste of the food, the clouds on the horizon, whatever it is that you can pay attention to as a gift of your life, as a gift of your consciousness incarnated at this time in history. Because there's lots going on that is, who knows? Who knows what's going to happen? Yesterday there was this news about, was it DeepSeek? No, is that what it's called? The Chinese AI, which, decimated the stock market and the crypto market. And who knows? Could that be the most incredible breakthrough for the evolution of our species and consciousness? Perhaps. Could it be a step towards all of us being enslaved by the Chinese AI government? Perhaps. But as we follow along, as history trudges along towards the inevitable future, it's really important to not get to the end of your coffee and go, oh, I forgot to taste it. Or when it's dark outside, go, I forgot to notice the sunset. Oh, I forgot to notice the gorgeous bark on that tree in front of me. And for those precious moments with people that we love. Good morning, Gerbot. Gerbot is grateful for good friends and the time we make for each other. Yeah. Speaking my language. Yeah. I am grateful for having family that is close by. Grateful that I'm going to have some dear friends over for dinner tonight. Haven't seen them in a while. They haven't seen Lisa and I since we've been engaged. I think it'll be our first time entertaining since being engaged. This will be fun. Esther says, good morning. Thanks for the perfect morning message. I'm very focused on doing this very thing every day. Thank you, Esther. Esther, this weekend is the 15th anniversary of First Saturdays. I've been saying 14, and I got corrected by Merrick. 15 years of First Saturdays. We celebrate this weekend. Yesterday I posted something on my Facebook saying, I saw some meme about how, when you defend somebody who's being picked on, it's not about convincing the person that's making fun of them. It's about letting the person who's being picked on know that someone has got their back. And it made me think about how many times I have written something politically, and then the conversation just gets so ugly, and there's so many fighting, and you're a Nazi, you're a sheep, and I just take it down, or I make it private, because I feel like the net gain isn't positive. I wanted to make a stance about something towards harmony, towards understanding, and it turns into a platform for fighting. So I go, ugh. But I realized that the consequence of that is that there's probably people who might think I don't care. So I wrote something about that. And then, a number of people in the comments, I'd say a lot of people are like, I hear you, or I don't speak up much anymore either. Because it's just like people are just waiting. They've got these trigger issues that if you mention anything related to reproductive rights, they've got this or anything related to Trump, anything related to whatever your issue is, it becomes, here's another opportunity to say what I need to say because it's important. And I get that you think it's important, but there's also a part of that group of people that is like, I have a responsibility to try to not be silent on social media, which I understand that intention, but often the messages are filled with a venom and an aggression and an insulting tone that it's so ineffective, and so. But a few people in the thread were saying, well, if someone's, I'm going to call people Nazis so that they know what they're doing. They don't know, and I was just like, how can that work? And this person said, well, if someone rapes, I'm going to call them a rapist. And I was like, well, if I support an administration that murders people, which the Biden administration has done, the Obama administration has done, we do terrible things in other countries. If you're going to call me a murderer because the party that I support has done that, I'm not going to listen to you. But if you said, hey, I understand there's lots of reasons why you could vote for Obama and Biden, but are you aware that by supporting them, they're also doing this stuff here? And that if you are so enthusiastically pro-Biden, you're also kind of saying, I'm in favor of drone strikes. That kind of argument be like, well, but if you just say, you're a murderer, I'm like, how could that steer me into being like, oh no, this person on the internet is calling me a name? They're probably right. I should research and figure out what that's not what humans do. If you throw a punch at them, they defend. And if you attack with your words, you call people names, they defend. It's just so kind of it's just as frustrating to me when people that are like I am of the school that thinks that Trump is a danger to oh God, so many things, but we're to authoritarianism. But I think that when you attack a Trump supporter as being a Nazi, I think that is just as destructive, because that then supporter gets pushed farther into feeling like I'm anti-you. And I mean, I get that you don't feel like there's no choice, and it's what I believe. And I think that if you do support Trump, that you are a Nazi. It just frustrates me. I'm not frustrated necessarily at you. I'm just frustrated by this system. And I'm discouraged, and I don't see a path to change without running it into a really bad, terrible place. I mean, unless we are still rolling along on the a democratic republic. It's not like we were invaded by authoritarianism. Okay, this isn't very grateful, is it? I am grateful. This is go back to what I started with. I am grateful for all of the moments of the day that are unaffected by authoritarianism, unaffected by an unknown future, unaffected by other people's anger and frustration. I am grateful that I have the luxury of listening and paying attention, and the luxury of not listening and not paying attention. Good morning, Yamil. Good morning, Charles. Good morning, Amy. Amy says, name calling never helps. We need to reach out with compassion and find some common ground to share what we believe in. Compassion is the key to changing someone's mind. I mean, that's my belief. I saw a letter that was circulating yesterday that people were adding their name to, like this kind of repost. And it was saying the opposite of that, saying like, I will not back this. Anything that's happening right now, I will not get on board to try to make things work. I'm going to stand my ground. I'm going to speak up, and I'm not going to go along with it. And I'm sure it was better wording, but I loved the idea. I loved the idea of, but I'm like, I don't know what that looks like. Does it mean calling people Nazi on social media? Does it mean voting differently? Does it mean, I don't know. I don't know what that looks like hopefully it means voting differently. Because it's either voting differently, protesting, or revolt. I don't know. I don't want to just be angry for the sake of being angry. Yeah. Whew. I was talking with someone yesterday, and they were pointing out it's a tough thing because it can be so frustrating, whatever side you're on. I mean, this is the way our politics seems to work, is one side hopes the other side does badly, wishes bad things for the country, for their opponents, so that they can then win next time. And you saw that, the people really like, hey, good thing Biden is struggling so much with Israel, because that makes it easier for Trump. Like, true. And I had talked to someone who was like, it's tough because I'm so frustrated by the way things are that there's a part of me that like wants things to go badly so I can show all those voters, look what you did. There's got to be consequences, you know. But on the other hand, you don't want bad things to happen to the United States. So how do you go, I want the best for everyone, and I don't want them to win? It's a really strange, I don't know. Esther says, I am so on the same page. I've been feeling especially frustrated by interactions with some of my progressive friends who keep insisting that I'm too nice to them. I can disagree and remain civil. Yeah, I'm with you, Esther. And I sometimes struggle because I know that there are people who are scared. I know that there are people who are rightfully fearful. And if I thought that refusing to speak to or turning an enemy into anyone who supported the political party that I support would have any positive effect, I would entertain the thought of doing that. I just don't. It's more of a logical effectiveness perspective. I don't see how that helps anyone. And in fact, the opposite. I feel like the division is what makes every group so easily to be manipulated by power structures that manipulate our media, you know? So the more us them we are, the easier it is to be triggered. Zoe says, Happy Tuesday. Andy says, Israel, why is that his problem? More like the border, Ukraine, etc. Okay, good point. I just, it's the first thing that popped in my mind. And I just had read something a couple months ago about how the mishandling of Israel, you know, makes people say, well, Trump's going to save us. You know? Dustin's saying, on the anger topic, the way the political system swings left to right, if you're angry when the others are in office, you will be angry half of your political life. That's not healthy. That's a good point. Natasha says, good morning from the desert. I am grateful for the opportunity to volunteer with Scarlettine. Oh, cool. I literally just found out. I am grateful to have pet insurance for the ER visit we have to make yesterday. I came home and immediately repotted several plants and freshened them up for emotion support, and so grateful for plants too. Yay for plants. I repotted a couple plants yesterday too. Must have been something in the air. And he's saying that similar previous in Canada with the previous prime ministers in the Liberal Party. Yamil is saying, it's a big struggle for me as well. I'm not affiliated to a party, but individual ideas and policies. It's impossible nowadays to have a political discussion with anyone and not trigger some heated debate, name calling, and ignoring the facts presented. I mean, you got to keep in mind that regardless of which side you're on, a good portion of the information and I mean, there's a huge amount of people posting in the collective social media world that are instigators and sometimes foreign. Like there's the whole landscape of our public opinion is way more than public opinion. And because these conversations are happening all around us, they influence us, and we start to hear things that get us riled up, and then we start to say them, and then they start to say them. But there's a good chance that some of these riling up terms and phrases were planted by people who are trying to just get us fighting with each other. Again, not to say that there isn't really terrible things happening, as there always is, but there's, you know, I I guess thanks for being patient with me today. I'm grateful for the patience to kind of walk through some of this. I really, I'm really stewing on how can I maybe remove being more online from my life. How can I try to do some more in-person working with people, more one-on-one stuff, and less of my life in social media because it's been corrupted in so many ways. A friend asked it, AI said, if you were human, how would you get out of the matrix? In one paragraph. It said, if I were human, I'd start by recognizing that much of the world operates on systems of control, whether through media, culture, or societal norms. And I'd question everything I'd been taught, from my values to my perceptions of success. I'd seek out knowledge from diverse sources, engage in deep self-reflection to uncover my true desires, and learn to trust my intuition over external validation. I'd minimize distractions like social media and consumerism that keep me in the cycle, and I'd take small, deliberate steps to align my life with my authentic self, surrounded by people who encourage growth and deeper thinking. The key would be staying present, awake, and proactive, constantly checking in with my inner compass. Isn't that a good answer? And it really, I read that this morning. I'm like, yeah, social media, even if I think that I'm being critical and self-aware, it's totally affecting my moods, the way I think, the way I think people are, As I'm reading through this thread yesterday, some people are saying like, hey, I'm going to keep calling people Nazis. It kind of, it left me feeling a little, ugh. I want less ugh in my life. It certainly didn't motivate me to do something positive. It made me feel more discouraged that anything I do matters or will have any effect. So I'm really trying to do a little inventory of how do I want to continue breaking out of the matrix. Any last gratitudes before we head off into the day? Yamil says, I am grateful for my Love Burn theme camp members. The love and dedication has surpassed my wildest dreams. Also for a new relationship after a difficult year. That makes me so happy. Oh, that's so cool. I was so excited by your enthusiasm and your excitement for your camp. And I also know how much work it is to do a camp. And so it is really good to hear that you're having a good experience and it's going well. That makes me really happy. Yay! Well, maybe, and hello, Patal. Well, with that, let's, wherever we are, have a hug. Remember that all the noise, part of our job is to remember to tune in to and maybe get some relief from the doom and gloom in a funny meme, in a moment of connection, in a live broadcast, in a laughter with friends, maybe a silly Netflix show. Thanks, Gerbot. So wherever you are, let's give ourselves a squeeze, appreciating this moment, appreciating our options and our opportunities to pay attention to whatever we want. We have no obligation to stay frustrated or to focus on things that are frustrating. Let's be grateful that we've got these bodies and this ability to experience the sensations of a life on this planet. Grateful for our relationships, for our thought, for our growth, and for knowing that there's so many people out there like us, and that we can be the examples and the role models and the ambassadors that help others to shine brighter as well. So let's take a deep breath in and squeeze. On behalf of Grandpa Caleb and everybody here, thanks for being here for a love morning. And thanks for your patience as I wasn't in full love and appreciation mode for this broadcast today. Thank you. Esther's grateful for the service work I've been doing and having the time to be able to do it. Hands-on connection really does make life better. Thank you, Dustin. Thanks, everyone. Enjoy.